morning, everyone. How are you doing today? This is Bev from Art by Bedell, and I have part 2 of the flip out that we started in our last video for the Sunflower Dragonfly journal, in which we are using my new digital kit. And you can find the link to my Etsy shop for that digital kit down below. You can also find, from yesterday, I forgot to post the freebie that I had for you. So I'm going to post that today also, and you can find that down below also. So anyhow, I left yesterday that we had the first part of our flip out finished. We had the front done, and then we made a journal card here for it. This is my original one. And then for the one that I worked on yesterday is this one. And after I left all of you, I discovered I put my flower on upside down. So when I have it and I flip this over, this part would be upside down, plus this fold would be on the wrong side. So I proceeded to take my flower off. In doing so, because my glue was very effective, I ripped the edge of my page. And now I thought, well, that's kind of disappointing. I could just take this and start all over. I don't even know if I have another long enough piece of paper of this desk paper. And then I thought, no, let's fix it and let's show you guys how I go about fixing it. So I want to make sure I have, and that's what you're going to want to make sure too, is make sure you don't glue things upside down, as I just did in the last video. So I have a piece of the digital, and I've torn it to the length that I would need to cover up this spot here and a little bit down here where I tore my paper getting my flower off. Well, I want to ink up the edge of this a little bit, and the ink that I'm using is Distress Oxide Vintage Photo, which is what I'll be using throughout the whole journal. And I'm just going to ink that up, and then I'm going to glue it down. And you know what? That brings part of my digital into this side of the page, which there wasn't any of it on. So I'm happy about that, actually. I'm like, okay, well, that was a good, happy accident, right? So let's get a little bit of my glue that I'm using is my Art Glitter Glue, provided I can get it to not be clogged up, right? All right, so I do believe we're probably unclogged now. And it feels like I probably should be refilling my bottle too. So I will just put this here and have it covered up my whole mistake. Now, this will be a little thicker on the fold for here, but it'll be okay. It's going to be okay. So now I want to turn it over, and now I have this side that needs a little bit of TLC. And I have decided that over here we're going to add a piece of coffee stain copy paper. And for my original one, that looked like this. I didn't go all the way to the edge. I left a little bit here and tore it down through here. This one is going to go all the way over beyond the fold to meet this so that I can cover up my mistake there. And then I can also still tear this because I like that torn edge, and I want to have that over here too. So I tear that like that. And then the next thing I'll do is go about inking up the whole edge of just this side of the coffee stain copy paper. I think this vintage photo goes quite well with the coffee stain paper also. Okay, so we have that's going to cover that. And then I can glue my flower back down here. And I still have this little part up here that is from when this was glued on there. And so I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do about that? I could take another piece that I tore off here and put it on top, but that kind of just blocks that all in, and I really didn't like that idea. So I decided, you know what? I don't mind that it looks like a torn edge. I'm just going to add a little bit of this ink to it, just like that, and I'm going to leave that be. There we go, just like that. It's fine. So, before I can glue down my coffee stain copy paper, what I want to do is stamp over here with my script stamp, which I hope I brought out with me. So here's the script stamp that I want to use, and this is a Hero Arts stamp. It's an old stamp, F2674 long writing, and I am going to use my Versamark ink pad here, and I'm going to stamp down the edge of this paper here. And I'm also going to want that on the other side, all the way over here. So I'm going to do that while I have it out. And then I am going to be using gold embossing powder. Let's close up our ink pad, set that all aside, take our heat gun and melt the embossing powder. Okay, I have that done. And again, before I add my coffee stain copy paper, I want to do some asemic writing. Now, if you don't know what asemic writing is, you can check it out on YouTube videos, but it's just scribbling on your paper, but with a little bit of a flair to it. Sometimes when I'm doing my writing, I have something I'm thinking about, and so I kind of write it out. I don't really have anything that I'm thinking about today. I just want to get some of it on my paper. So I just start like doing my writing, only making it so that you cannot read it and that it has a nice flair to it. And I will put a little bit of that here on my paper in a couple different places and change directions of it. It actually, for me, is easier if I have something on my mind to write. So if I just maybe think of maybe a poem or a quote or whatever, if I don't have anything that I really want to work out. So I'm going to put just 2 spots over here, and then I'm going to do a couple spots over here too. So I'll hold that up, see if you can see it a little bit better. There we go. And there's some over here. And then there's some over here. Down here. Okay, so that's my asemic writing. Now I could make that bolder by using a thicker pen if I wanted to, but I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to take my coffee stain copy paper. Again, I'm going to put it over here to the edge. I'm going to go beyond my fold because I'm fixing my mistake. I'm going to use my art glitter glue, and I'm going to glue this down. Just putting a stream of my glue. It doesn't have to be real heavy. And then putting some on the inside. Bringing that all the way over so that I cover up that torn edge. And gluing this down. And if I didn't get close enough to the edge, I can go back in and pull that up and add a little more glue here. think that will be good. All right, so let's go back and let's refold this. Give it a good crease. And then fold it back on itself to crease it again. There. Problem fixed. Let's fold this in and crease that again. And then we can reapply our pocket. Just like that. No one's the wiser. Okay, over here on this side, I want to add a quote and maybe just some scraps of paper. So I have, in a crowd of roses, choose to be a sunflower, thornless, unwithering, abundant in seeds, by Jatani M. Chapman. I am going to layer that on some book paper. And I'm going to ink up around the edge of this. There we go. And I am going to add a few of these pieces of my digital. So I'm going to ink up around the edge of those also. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them all or not, but there we go. So let's add our book paper first. Put that, let's see, where do I want to put that? I'm going to put it right here, about a third of the way up. And behind it, I want a piece of this to unscreen here so you can see what I'm doing. Just adding a little bit of the glue, putting my paper down, getting my quote in there. Let's see. Yeah, let's put the quote in there. I'm going part on the book paper and part off. Then I have this strip that I want to put at the top. It's right up here. Just like that. And maybe a piece down at the bottom down here. And then that side will be complete. And there's room for journaling here on the coffee stained copy paper. So there's that side. Let's get this side over here finished. On this side, I am going to put another piece of coffee stained copy paper. I'm going to tear that down a little. It's a little too big, and I want some torn edges also. That's better. Let's ink up the edges of this. That will go down there. I really do need to get some more glue in my glue bottle. And then I have a strip of the desktop calendar that I tore off this edge that I'm going to put back on here. Like that. There we go. And then from my digitals, I have a mushroom with some sunflowers. But behind that, I want to add some cheesecloth. Give it a little bit of texture and dimension. Just like that. A little more glue up here. And then let's put a piece of our digital right up along the side here. We'll have to ink up the edge of that also. Put that right there. And then we'll get our mushroom on top of that. Making sure to get all these little edges. There we go. And then there's some journaling room there. So our page is much easier today than it was yesterday. We did the hardest part yesterday. Let's get our tag put in here. Just like that. And then of course it's going to go on our journal page in our journal. We'll fold this back like this, and this goes like this. And there we have our first page completed for our journal. We have the flip out with a journal card, journal on the back. I did not get my line stamping for journaling on the back of that yesterday, so let's get that done today. There we go. That is done too. Set that inside, and then this opens up like this. Journal room here with a nice quote here, and we can journal here, and we have our ledger paper, and then that'll open up and we'll have this. That completes our first project in our Sunflower Dragonfly journal. I hope you are following along and get out those digitals and let's create together. And we will have another project coming up real soon. I'm hoping tomorrow, I think maybe. So I want to also remind you that the digital collection for this project is available for you on my Etsy page, and the link for that is down below. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we shall see you again soon. Bye now.